Good morning, namaste, bonjour, vanakkam to all of you who have joined. I'm Purni Srinivasan and I'm the Secretary of IIBA Chennai Chapter. I take immense pleasure in welcoming all of you to the launch of Babok Study Group, which is hosted by IIBA Chennai Chapter. Let's begin our session with a little understanding about all of you. Ashok, could you please open up the questionnaire? I request all participants to please fill it in while we launch something special that we had mentioned in our LinkedIn post. Ashok, can you please get started with the poll? Thank you. I request all of you to please take this poll while we're going to launch something else. So Rio, can you please open up and share your screen? So yes, you all heard me right. There's something special that we've planned. And it's not for all. Any of you could be a lucky one. So I'm going to request Rio to spin a wheel and all your names are included in it. And if any of your name comes up, I request you to please unmute yourself, switch on your video, and let us know a little about yourself and what you hope to gain from our session today. And you know what? You would win a goodie. So we will start with the third luckiest person of the day. Rio, please spin the wheel. I'm excited. Ooh, who's the first name? Ruchi Agarwal. Have you joined the call, Ruchi? If you're there, please can you unmute yourself?
Ruchi is not there.
Looks like Ruchi has not joined. So Rio, please spin the wheel. So it's somebody else who's going to get their chance now. Is it going to be me? Is it going to be you? I don't know. Who's it? Rahul Khaitan. Are you on the call, Rahul?
No.
I guess punctuality pays and otherwise you miss out on an opportunity. So we go on to the third possible lucky person. Let's see who it is. Dhanya Bhi. Dhanya, are you on the call?
No, she's also not there.
No, looks like we have a limited few. So let me choose a name myself. I will blindly go with number 8 on our list. Who's it? Nagavani Karnati. Hey Nagavani, please switch on your video and unmute yourself and do share. Of course, I know you, but I would request you to please share a little about yourself to everybody and let us know what you expect out of this session. Nagavani?
Yeah. Can you see me, Purni?
Yes, absolutely. Hi.
Hello. Yeah. Hi, everyone. Yeah, I just thought I'll mentor this session of study group students. So I requested Swami sir. And to begin with me, I'm Vani. And I'm associated with the IIBA Chennai Chapter almost, I would say, 3 to 4 years now. And I did my certification with the same, with the help of the Chennai chapter and also great study group. Some of them I just saw. I was looking into the people who are in the call, like Deepthi, Rio, and under the guidance of Purni and Swami sir as well. So I thought from my end, I should contribute as well to the upcoming batch. So yeah, that's why here I am today.
Awesome. Thank you, Nagavani. Can I request Samuel Nihal to please unmute yourself and switch on your video and introduce yourself and let us know what do you expect to gain from this session.
Hello, Purni. Hello, all. Good morning.
Hi.
Hello. I'm having 3 years of experience in business analysis. Currently, I'm working at Renault Nissan. But I want to do a certification from IIBA. So that's why I'm here, Purni.
So lucky Samuel, you're going to be receiving a goodie very soon. It's going to be, you're the third lucky person that we have chosen. So you will be receiving a mobile stand. May I
Thank you.
request Swami to please show the goodie that Samuel is likely to receive?
1 minute. Just give me a minute. I'm putting on.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Swami.
And I mean, it will be reaching your home very soon.
Thank you.
So I'm going to choose the next person, Benzi Isaac. Benzi, can you please unmute yourself and switch on your video and let us know a little about yourself and what do you expect to gain out of the session? Benzi? All right, looks like Benzi is unable to join us. So let's go on to the next lucky person, Namrata Nagaraj. Namrata Nagaraj, would you mind please switching on your camera and introducing yourself to all of us?
Hi, camera has a little problem, but glad you called me up. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are.
Yes.
Very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I am a person who's restarting my career after a 7-year break of maternity. So that's what brings me to IIBA. And that's where I'm restarting the entire process of getting back into the line of corporate.
Good luck to the journey, Namrata, and you're likely to receive the next, you're the second person who's winning the goodie. So you'll be receiving an IIBA keychain and a pen, probably with which you could start writing down your goals and your tasks and all of it. So it's an IIBA stamped keychain and pen for you. So good luck to you, Namrata.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome.
Very happy
And
to virtually hand over
now-
this. Sorry, Tony. Just, I mean, can we hand it over to her virtually?
Thank you, sir.
And it will reach your home very soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
And
Before I conclude, I have one note of thank you to Swami, sir, because I had reached out to him before I even enrolled and I had 1,000 questions in my mind. So I had bothered him with all those questions and he gave me a nice amount of clarity on where and how to start. So one note of thank you to Swami, sir, also here.
Welcome. Welcome.
That's awesome. So the last person that we are choosing is the last name on the list, Vishnupriya Punar. Would you mind switching on your video and unmuting yourself and introducing yourself to all of us? Vishnupriya? All right, looks like she's unable to unmute herself. So there's a chance for one more person. So Sabin Lal, would you mind please unmuting yourself and turning on your camera and introducing yourself to everyone? Sabin Lal? We can't hear you. I can see you've unmuted yourself. However, I can't hear you. Unfortunately, we are unable to hear, so I have to switch names. So the last person I invite is Nandini Arunodayam. Nandini, would you mind please on your...
Can you hear me, Purni?
Yes, yes, Nandini.
Yeah. I'm absolutely down today, which Purni knows, but I still don't want to miss this session. And that's the reason why Purni is the main reason why I'm here today. And she is my mentor throughout. And I'm looking forward for the certification from IIBA, and that makes me to be here today.
Awesome, Nandini. And you're winning a goodie of a flask with temperature sensor, which shows the temperature of, the liquid that you store inside. And I hope it helps you store hot water and get your throat back into shape.
Oh.
So congratulations, Nandini.
That's lovely. Thank you so
Nandini,
much.
I take the opportunity to give you virtually. but it will
Thank
reach
you,
your home.
Swami sir. Thank you so much. Happy to receive it.
So all the dear participants, please don't feel upset that your name did not come up. In the next face-to-face connect that we will be having, each and every one of you would receive an IIBA pen, with an IIBA seal on it, IIBA India seal. So all of you will be receiving it the next connect that we have face-to-face. So now I'm sure many of you are wondering, what is there in this session for me? Do you all know and would you all like to know about what's IIBA? So who's better to give an insight into it than our own Swami sir, who's the IIBA India advisor? Over to you, Swami sir.
Thank you. And thanks a lot for the fantastic start. And I mean, how many of you know me? Most of you, but to tell you that I'm Swaminathan, and I work with Tech Mahindra in a senior position. Then I got retired from the IT services organization now, and with IIBA as a volunteer. I am associated with IIBA for the last 2007 onwards, almost 15 plus years. And thanks for IIBA for giving me an opportunity to connect people, working professional like you. So we have a great thought that, how we can make you world-class professional, because only meritorious and with the right mindset of people only can become a people. In that context, IIBA India is wanted to, as a very ambitious way of reaching 100,000 people like you. That is what make us to exist. Every day morning when we wake up, I want to ask very, very reflective question in my mind. How many of them I'm really reaching to have a message or tell them that you can become truly world class? That's what the chapter is. But over a period of time, we wanted to reach 1 million business analysis professional in India. Whereas the next 2 years, we were planning with 100,000 people. If you ask me how many people right now in your community or they know IIBA and all that, maybe it will be 10,000. But we wanted to grow 10x in terms of our reach. Then why we reach? Because we want to bring the world best practices to India, and in turn, taking India best practices to the world through our Global Chapter Council platform. There is something called a Global CC, where a Global Chapter Council, where millions of people are part of it. That is why. Then why we wanted to do? Because India is a place we can make India world's best while delivering value at scale. Because we always create value through numbers and scale. This is what the community of practice. This is what we want, why we exist, part of it. First, we want to do world class. Then this is what. Next slide, Rio. Rio, can you move it to the next slide? Yeah. What is our big mission? To take IIBA's key messages to every corporate, industry, academia, and aspiring business analysis professional. And to make Saturday, IIBA India, Connect Chapter Connection Day. Today is a Saturday. You can see definitely, we started somewhere, after our BA Impact Conference. Every Saturday we did it. We wanted to make it more, we want to continuously improve the quality of the engagement, and so that it is more meaningful when you are giving your week, and it should be very, very meaningful to you. This is what, and to make India as the world capital for business analysis professional. This is what in the whole world should look at us. If they want any business analysis professional, they should look at us. We did a great job in IT services. Today we are going to set a plan for giving the best for business analysis professional. That's what from my side, and I request every one of you to be part of it. And there is going to be a great sessions and great leaders are there. And I'm completely committed to grow hundreds of mentors, because I can't reach alone. I know that if I want to reach 1 million people, I will have to reach through 1,000 leaders. Probably you may be one of the leader. Be available, and it is my responsibility to groom you as a mentor and leader. But whereas you have to, from your side, you should have a very good clarity about what you need from the personal point of view, professional point of view, and of course, definitely it is from the spiritual point of view also, so that you are a whole and complete better human being. That is what I am trying to strive for myself. That is what exactly I am striving. I'm striving my best in my life to bring everyone like me. That's all from my side. And thank you, Purni, for giving this opportunity. Over to you, Purni.
Thank you, Swami sir. So as a business analysis professional, irrespective of the designation or the title that you hold in your organization, how do you think you could establish your career path? And do you think IIBA could help you? If so, how? So we have with us Girish Subramaniam, who's a member of IIBA Chennai Chapter for Professional Development, to throw some light on the specializations in business analysis profession.
Hello,
Over
everyone.
to you, Girish.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Good morning. And a warm welcome to the study group, the first session of the study group. So from the earlier poll that we have conducted, I can see that almost 17% of you are the experience level between 0 to 3, and more than 33% are between, more than 10%, more than 33% are falling between 3 to 10 years of experience level, and the remaining are between 10 plus years of experience. So from that, what I understand is most of you may be either the beginner, that is the lowest level of group which is appearing here in this session today, and most of you are more experienced, and you may be wondering how to progress in your career, right? So this is where you are here, and to understand what all the possible career paths and specializations that you may have as a business analysis professional. So as you can see in the slide, which Rio is showing on the screen right now, Rio, is it possible to zoom in or anything? I hope everyone is able to see this, right?
Yes, but not very clearly, but it's okay. Please carry on, Girish.
Okay, yeah. So there are, if you see this particular circle or the wheel, you can see there are two sections to it. The first half is showing business analysis, and there are 3 subsections to it called as operational, tactical, and strategic, right? And there are so many job titles as well displayed there. And you can also see a second section which is below that, and I will come to that at a later stage. So once you look at the first half of the wheel, you can see operational is the beginning of a career for a business analyst, right? So you may be starting your career as a business analyst or a junior business analyst, then you will slowly grow into a senior business analyst, then a lead business analyst, or a manager of business analysis, right? So all these things are gradually happening, and mostly you will be starting your career in the operational section of this wheel. Then later on, when you gain momentum and when you are in the mid-senior level category, then you will be falling under the tactical, and then you will be slowly moving to the higher level of management, which is the strategic, where you will be playing the role of a thought leader or a strategy analyst, etc. Right? So when you look at this, when you start your career as an operational point of view, you may be labeled as a business analyst itself, but you may be wondering why there are so many job titles which are mentioned here, which may not be meaningful to you. But one thing to keep in mind always is that the title doesn't matter always, right? Because though you may not be termed as a business analyst in your profession, but what the job that you are doing on your daily life, that may be more related to a business analyst. So this is where each and every job title may not be corresponding to the business analyst, but the work that you are doing will be of the nature of a business analyst. You always have to understand that, and there can be some responsibilities that will be falling as part of a business analyst job title, or the tools that may use that can also make you a business analyst, or the skill set that you may have that will make you a business analyst, or the domain knowledge is another example, right? So because of all these criteria, maybe you will be called as a business analyst, not just because of the job title that you have. So this is where you have to understand that you have to focus on what you want to do rather than what is the title of it. And it can be, for example, if your niche skills are into the technology, you may be called as a CRM analyst or a cyber security analyst, but actually you will be playing the role of a business analyst in your team. Similarly, if you are a technical person, you may be labeled as a SharePoint analyst or a Salesforce analyst, right? Or if you are working on a product like banking, like Finacle, you may be still called as a business analyst, but it will not be calling out what is the area of expertise that you have, right? So this is where you always have to understand that the job title doesn't matter, and what is the focus area should be what is that I have to kind of grow in myself or improve on myself, right? And the possible career path, as you can see, the first half is from the IIBA point of view. Most of the normal generic way of business analysis is done on the first half. This is where IIBA is also supporting you with the help of CBAP, CBAP, or CBAP certification. But on the second half, if you see, there are specialized certifications or the core expertise that is also coming into picture from IIBA. So there they are trying to help you in terms of understanding a specific domain. For example, the data analytics here or the cyber security. If you are working in an agile world, you may be called as a product owner, but only because you are working in an agile environment, you may be called like a product owner. But in a normal work area or in the traditional way, if you are working, you may be still called as a business analyst itself, right? So the product manager and product owner, maybe there can be differences between them as well. So all these things are especially called out when you do the CPOA as an example from IIBA. So product ownership is similar to that. Is there any question so far from any one of you?
Nothing at the moment, Girish. Please take it forward.
Yeah. So based on what is your interest, for example, if you have grown to a managerial level as a business analyst, then you don't want to manage the people anymore, then you can consider going into a path of a functional architect, right? Or a business architect, for example. So you can see the product manager here is falling under the product ownership. In fact, this can come under the strategic wheel here, right? Why? Because you may be, as a product manager, you may be deciding on the roadmap and all those sections. So this is one of the functions a product manager normally does, and product owner is a role normally a business person within the organization will be doing. So I'm not telling that, or I'm just quoting this as an example. Why? Because this can be different in different organizations, right? And the job titles will also differ based on that. So you always have to focus on what is the area that you want to progress on, whether it is a tool or a function or a domain expertise that you have to grow in yourself. And if you want to move as an individual contributor, or you want to focus more on the task, on the business goal, then you have to move to a strategic kind of a role, like a business architect or something similar to that. But if you are a people manager, you would like to go in that way, you have to grow as a practitioner of business analysis, so that you can develop the community of practice within your organization. So that's the normal way of developing your career. That's it, Purani, from my side.
Thank you, Girish. If any of you have any questions, I request you to start putting it on the chat, and we will address it as and when we can. So is it enough if we know, with the clarity that Girish has given us, what are the different paths we could take as a business analysis professional in our career? But will that actually make us completely successful? I keep wondering, why is it that some people, they seem to shine in any sphere of their life that they choose to exert themselves in, while there are a few others who can't, they can't even see a glimmer despite having good talent. Is it because we probably don't have proper skills or competency, or are we not well behaved, or are we not groomed enough? Well, let me share a story with you which will help us arrive at the answer to this question. There was once a young little boy who, along with his father, went to a temple. There, they saw a huge, gigantic elephant that was tied to a very small pole using a very thin chain. On seeing this, the boy got really confused and he asked his father, Appa, you told me that, elephants are really one of the mightiest, strongest animals. But why is it not able to break free of the small chain and get itself free? For that, his father replied, son, when the elephant was very young, a little child like how you are right now, it was tied with a similar chain. And at that point of time, the elephant might have tried multiple times, but not succeeded. So what happened was the elephant must have started thinking that it does not have the strength to break free of this thin, small chain. And now, even though it actually has the strength, the elephant believes that the chain can still hold them and it cannot be broken. This story makes me wonder, like this elephant, how many of us are stuck in life, saying we can't do this, we can't do that. So what do we do to change that? Just focus on our mindset. Research shows that it's the way that we think about ourselves, our ability, that's what really counts. And there are two ways to view intelligence or ability. The first is where you think, I'm born with this particular skill set or a competence, and this is all the ability that I have. It's fixed, it's ingrained. I cannot change it. And that's called a fixed mindset. Whereas there's another mindset, another set of people who have a mindset that, I can develop my own ability. I can create my own skills and competence through hard work, persistence, and effort. And that's called the career mindset. So the single most important factor that influences a person's success, may that be on their professional side or personal side, is their mindset. What you think about consistently has a direct impact on your behavior, and that reflects in the success of your life. And that's the perfect right ingredient too, right? But what happens in the life of a business analysis professional is that many times we don't get the desired results immediately, when we all look for recognition. If everything is going well in your product or project or whatever task you're associated with, then the entire team receives an appreciation. But if there's a problem, then the business analysis professional has not done their job properly, right? But even for that, let me address that with an experiment, a proven experiment, which is called the Stanford Marshmallow Experiment. So now this was basically a study that was conducted on gratification, basically delayed gratification, back in 1972. It was led by a psychologist by the name Mr. Walter Mischel, and he was a professor at the Stanford University. What he did was he gathered a group of children and led them into an empty room. So it had no distractions. He sat them on a chair and there was a table in front. And in front of them, he put a treat of their choice. By treat, I mean either a candy or a chocolate or a cookie or a pretzel or a marshmallow, something like that. What they enjoyed was placed in front of the table. They had only one rule. The children were told that if they want, they could eat the treat. But if they waited for 15 minutes, then they would be rewarded with a second treat. So 15 minutes of controlling your temptation, you would be rewarded with the second treat. Needless to say, some children did not have the patience to wait. They did not have the perseverance to wait for that 15 minutes, which was a test of their, skill set of waiting, of their patience, of their ability to wait for the proper gratification. But some children, they started covering their eyes with their hands. They kind of rested their head on the table, or they tried sleeping for a while. They tried distracting themselves with music or singing or dancing or doing something else. So this way, they actually utilize their time in a way that their gratification could be doubled. And this is what actually happens in life. People who have the perseverance to wait and put in that required appropriate effort, they get better outcomes in life. And these children, when they were studied for a longer period of time, Michelle recognized that the children who waited were the ones who actually cleared their SAT, got a good score in it, had a high educational accolade in their list of certifications, in their educational path. They had a proper body mass index and so many other measures. In life, it's quite similar for a business analysis professional. We may not get the rewards that we're looking for immediately after completing our task, but always remember, no job that is done well goes unrecognized for a long period of time. And I'm going to tell you, our preparation for CBAP, CCBA or ECBA certification is also like that. You know, it's going to take time, but when we see that we have successfully cleared our certification, and when we see that green color message saying you've cleared your CBAP, CCBA or ECBA exam, the amount of immense pleasure that we feel in that moment, the gratification that we feel at that point of time, it's just indescribable by words. While I was preparing for CBAP examination, I remember that there was a point I felt Babok was like Akshay Patram, you know, it was just never ending. It just kept going on and on and on. And at that time, I spoke to one of my mentors. Her name is Prabha, and she advised me about the art of taking one thing at a time. So she said, you focus on one task or one knowledge area at a time. So one task is typically 2-3 pages in Babok, and one knowledge area is probably a few pages. So when I started focusing like that, my mindset kind of changed, and I started looking at, one thing and then how it relates to the other and so on and so forth. And then I started appreciating Babok as, you know, a wonderful book of knowledge. Truly, as the name suggests, it's a book of knowledge. And I started realizing that the certification is just one part of it, but Babok is teaching me so much more. And trust me, if a manda buddhi like me, a slow learner like me, could achieve her dreams in just about 6 weeks, any of you, I assure you, can clear your exam. And CBAP has changed the way I manage my daily life too, both personally and professionally. Today, I'm much better organized. I'm well planned in life. So if I have to put it in Babok terms, I apply business analysis, planning and monitoring, even in my, personal jobs like cooking. When I speak to my relatives, friends, stakeholders, colleagues, I apply everything that I learned in elicitation and collaboration. I analyze my life strategies better too. And such small implementations, they have really helped me groom myself into a much better individual and a business analysis professional. And I hope each and every one of you who joins our study group, I hope all of you benefit multifold, both personally and professionally, and get certified at the level that you're aspiring. So can we move on to the next slide, please, Rio? So once we develop the appropriate mindset, don't you think we need to have a proper standard? So what does standard mean? What does IIBA mean by it? May I call upon Manivel Karupaswamy, who's a member of IIBA Chennai Chapter for Events Management, to throw more light on it and elaborate on this topic?
Yeah, thanks, Purni. Hi, everyone. I will just touch upon the business analysis standard that is provided by IIBA, what it is all about, and why it is very important to have one within the BA community, right? We all know that business analysis as such has continued to grow and evolve into a full-fledged area of interest over the years, with more and more organizations beyond the IT services industry realizing the importance of the role being a standalone role, right? And this has created a need and an opportunity to define the practice and provide guidelines to the practitioners. So the standard provided by IIBA serves as a foundation of professional business analysis by summarizing the concepts and proven practices as a benchmark for creating value. So essentially to say that it is going to be a gist of what you would find in a Babok, right? Now, what does this BA standard provided by IIBA contain? So it gives you a good understanding of what business analysis is and what is the importance of that role. And it also introduces you to the backup model, which you will find it in detail in the BABOK. Then it talks about the right mindset that you need to have in order to do effective business analysis and how to perform the activities of business analysis and deliver value. And also it introduces the tasks and the various knowledge areas that you will find in detail in BABOK. Okay. Now, you might ask, why choose IIBA's business analysis standard, right? Now, this particular standard that was set by IIBA has been set based on the principles for standard development described by ISO. Okay. So it is not just some random points put together. So they have followed the ISO standard to come up with the standard for business analysis on their own, and it was co-created with the IIBA's global business analysis community, right? By sourcing from people across the globe from different organizations representing various industries, right? And also there has been multiple review cycles and all the feedbacks that are incorporated to ensure a worldwide representation, right? And these are some of the reasons why the standard makes more sense. Now, so how can a BA community can use the standard? Now, if you are new to this role or haven't started with BABOK reading, this particular BA standard, this is available in the IIBA website as a PDF. So if you are a member, you can find it in IIBA site and download it. So it is a good place for you to start because it serves as a foundation for you to understand what business analysis work is. It will help you be a mentoring tool, especially if you are new to business analysis. It can be used as an education tool to apply this in your project to your stakeholders. You can take this to the stakeholders to make them understand the depth and breadth of the business analysis work that you do. Okay, and also it can give you a very comprehensive view of the business analysis, and it is an easy to use view of BA tasks as well. Okay, now coming to the importance of the standard. So the business analysis standard helps the community to speak a common language or to speak a same language. Consider the scenario, you as a business analyst from your company, and you have a counterpart in your client's organization, right? So when there is no standard with the kind of activity that you do, what are the artifacts that you create as a business analysis professional? When there is no standard, naturally the expectations are going to be different. So the client side, they might expect something from you, whereas you have your own set of deliverables, right? Now this standard will help solve that problem, right? Then the professional development and recognition is one another importance to have this standard. So this is where your certification part comes into picture, where you get the knowledge and the recognition which is accepted globally, right? Then the clarity and consistency in our daily BA work, ensuring that this standard provides a guideline which you can follow in order to be consistent with your deliverables. Then defining the best practices and also to have stakeholder alignment, right? And also to staying up to date, considering that IIBA's global reach will help you in staying up to date with the practices and changes to those practices that happening across the globe and across the industries in business analysis, right? So these are the importance of having this standard, and I highly recommend you go through this document. This is I think about 50 pages or so. So it's smaller than your BABOK, and it's a good place to start. Okay, thank you. Over to you, Purni.
Thank you so much for that. So, Manivel, You've now given me a good idea of, what are the BA standards. I have already understood what is my purpose. I have understood about the mindset. I have understood about the career paths. I have now understood about the BA standards. What should I do next? I call upon Deepthi Brahmanapalli, who's the member of IIBA Chennai Chapter for Professional Development, to help us understand about the next steps.
Sure. Thank you, Puruni. Hi, everybody. Good morning. All right. So we'll understand what the competencies expected of a business analysis professional are with the help of iceberg model and a hypothetical situation. So the scenario is that an organization has rolled out an organization-wide IT application, which when used is expected to bring in process efficiencies and also improve productivity. However, after 3 months of rolling out, it has been observed that there are hardly any users. A lot of teams are not using the application, and there's a lot of resistance in starting to use this application. So you are a business analysis professional at that organization, and you have been assigned the role of understanding what the issues are and suggesting possible solutions. So if you take this scenario, there are certain very visible in the face competencies that the business analysis professional needs, like the communication skills. So you'll have to speak to the users, the teams, to understand what their issues are. Then your own analytical skills and problem solving skills to analyze what the issues are, what the gaps are, and maybe suggest solutions. And your documentation skills to report whatever your findings are and whatever your suggestions are. However, there are a lot of invisible competencies that are needed to be able to perform this particular task of yours. For example, you have to talk to the teams, right? Unless they know that you are trustworthy and you are ethical, they are not going to give you candid feedback. So this is where your behavioral competencies come into play. And you need to know the application that has been implemented. You need to know the industry or the domain so that you can assess the gaps and understand what the issues are. So your solution knowledge and industry knowledge comes into play. And suppose you're new to this organization, you will need to first learn the culture of the organization. And this is where your learning competency comes into play. Suppose there are some people who are acting on their own personal interest and they're hindering the adaptation of this application. You'll have to employ your conflict management and negotiation skills to appease such audiences as well. And finally, when you're suggesting a solution or coming up with possible solution options, that is where your decision-making skill will come into play. So what I want to say is we need all these visible and invisible competencies to be a great business analysis professional. So IIBA has identified 29 such competencies divided into 6 broad categories. So we have analytical thinking and problem solving, which talk about competencies like creative thinking or visual thinking or concept thinking. Then we have our behavior characteristics, as I said, ethics or personal accountability, time management even, and trustworthiness. Then you have your business knowledge, the domain knowledge. So do you understand the methodology? Do you understand the solution? Do you understand the industry as a whole? Then your communication skills. It's not just verbal communication, right? So there's non-verbal, written, listening. Are you a good listener? Then your interaction skills. So leadership, facilitation, and your negotiation and conflict resolution, as I said. Then the tools and technology. Are you able to use the necessary tools to be able to do your work properly? Just Microsoft Excel, the basic Word, they're also the tools that you use. To the mind map building tools or wireframe making tools, all the tools that are necessary to perform your day-to-day activities. So all these are the necessary competencies. And as a part of this study group, our mentors will help you hone your competencies, not just from this exam perspective or the certification perspective, but from your career perspective as well. So I wish you all a very happy learning, and over to you, Purni. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Deepthi. That was very insightful. So now when I look at all these that I have learned as a business analysis professional, let me look at the core purpose, of our Babok study group of preparing for my examination. Is there someone in the team who could probably give me a glimpse of what I'll be learning about in real-time example? Yes. May I call upon Vijayalakshmi Keshavamurthy, the VP of our Professional Development of IIBA Chennai Chapter, and Amarnath Perumal, member of IIBA Chennai Chapter for Marketing and Communication, to elaborate on this experiential session.
Hello, hello all.
Hi, Vijay.
Hi,
Thank
hello.
you. Thank you, Purni. Thank you all. So
Great.
it's been a very great day, right? To start with getting into a new horizon on IIBA details, business analysis span of opportunities and the mindset, right? So today, maybe we will have a small conversation and experience a real case study through that. So Vijay, according to you, what do you think, who we need as an important persons to look in our business analysis activities?
To me, business analysis is there everywhere. And when we take up a project from starting from inception till we deliver it and then we do a support, everybody is important in business analysis activity. And wherever we go as a part of business analyst, we meet many stakeholders and every stakeholder are important in a project to get completed and be successful. And everyone has a specific role to play and have a very specific function for which they will be working on, which will be increasing the quality of the product which we work on. So every stakeholder, every single stakeholder in business analysis is important and they have their own specific functionalities and key responsibilities to be carried out. So I think everyone is important and maybe it will be great if you give a glimpse of like what each one is and what is their main role in the project.
Yeah, good, great. That's right. All are equal and they have different powers and the scope of influence and their contribution. So this is a list of common stakeholders which we will be going through in our product or in our services to our customers, right? Of course, business analysts is the first one, as we, and then the sponsors and project managers and regulators have a power, right? Some people. So we segregated this to show you a glimpse of how we can categorize our list of stakeholders. And the second category is on the knowledge, right? With the knowledge perceptions, we can categorize some people and we can approach them for these kind of matters, especially the domain subject matter expert, implementation expert, testers who will be validating the quality of our product, right? And then the users, of course, they are the gateway of us to be on to satisfy and our customers, of course. So maybe we will take, as Vijay, you said, probably we will take a small look at a specific functions or the roles, what each people are going to take on. Maybe
Yeah,
we will move
sure.
to next area. Yeah, good. Yes. So
Okay.
So here you can see what is the real functions of our stakeholders are going to perform. So this will give you an idea because today you might be already interacting with them. Maybe you may not know or what their power will be and why we are going to approach these stakeholders for some sort of an activity. So this is the list of functions we have. So Vijay, according to you, of course, I understand we have the stakeholders, we interact with these people for some set of an activity. According to what kind of activities predominantly, probably it's a requirement or I couldn't understand because we are interacting with many people, right? So what we need to meet these people.
See, talking from a requirement perspective in specific, because as a business analyst, we will be more into requirements. We'll understand requirement, elicit first, we'll first elicit requirements, understand it, analyze it, document it, share it with the developers, get it developed, and finally we'll be doing evaluating all the requirements are met or not. We'll do a lot of activities in the requirements management perspective. As you have mentioned, there are many stakeholders involved over here. Everyone has their hand in this process because being a sponsor, I'll be sole responsible for authorizing the requirements. Project manager will be involved in all the phases. And when it comes to regulator and subject matter expertise, they play an upper hand in giving more insight about the requirements. For example, if I want to know about a domain, I would be more dependent on the domain SME so that I can get more insight on this. And finally comes the suppliers and customers, wherein they'll be the end users or the final participants of the requirement management life cycle. So even though these many stakeholders are involved, to, as you asked, to talk about more on the requirements perspective, we can majorly have requirements as like functional requirements and non-functional requirements. So talking about functional requirements, it is more into like getting a work done and what are the important functionality involved in the application to move from first step to the last step. So it is kind of more of functional oriented. For example, when you click on something, for example, take an example of a IRCTC site wherein you go, you search for, you put your to and fro place, and you get the list of stations or the different, this different designation where you want to go, different trains we can take for the designation. So those all comes under a functional requirement wherein you see the result in the screen, which is purely functional. Next, we majorly talk about this non-functional requirements where it depends upon the speed, security, performance, how many scalability of the project, everything. For example, to talk about scalability in specific, everybody uses Redbus, okay? So Redbus as this portal first started just with having a search. You can just search whether there is availability of bus between a given designation, but then they scaled the project to the next level of offering you to book a ticket. Now they are scaling up, giving promotional ads, discounts, many things are being. Now they started sending reminders that you can come, yeah, the day is coming, Diwali is coming, Pongal is coming, they are like improvising the scalability of the project. And to talk about the performance and maintaining this, everybody booked Takkal, and it was very difficult for us to get one seat in 10 between like 10 to 10-5. So that is those all comes under non-functional requirements, wherein we talk about security, scalability, monitoring, maintaining. We do load test. So these all comes under non-functional requirements. So basically, or majorly, we can split requirements into functional and non-functional. So it would be great, Amar, if you can give us some case study type of or case study site insight so that we can understand better on the requirements and about the stakeholders.
Yeah, that's great because you said, right, what are the things. So now I think it's we conversing that we are exchanging, but I would like all our participants today also go through that experience. Okay,
yeah,
so we will take a 5 minutes. Yeah, we will take a 5 minutes to participants. You can go read through this case study. Okay, assuming you been as a business analyst in this scenario. Okay, this is a small glimpse of what it is going to be in the CCBA and CBAP. Okay, so it will be a good hands-on experience for also. So go to it for a 5 minutes, read, and then we will look onto the same discussions we had with together on the next part. 5 minutes time starts now.
Is there any participant who can read loudly? Because we have different, like audio learners and visual learners. Is there anyone who can just jump in and participate? I'm just asking any one of the participants ready for that.
Yeah, that would be
You
great
could raise your hand. Whichever participant is interested could please raise your hand on the Zoom, and we will request you to please read it aloud. Okay, in the absence of anyone raising, I will read it out for all of you. Z Stores, a major retailer in the USA, are currently using manual cash handling.
Only Danya have raised the hand. Probably Danya would like to volunteer.
Perfect. Danya, please go ahead. Thank you so much, Danya, for volunteering.
Yeah, okay. I think I'm audible.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, you are.
Okay. C Stores, a major retailer in USA, are using manual cash handling 200 plus retail outlets. The cash controllers are the C-store employees doing cash handling operations, would manually count a predefined amount and place them in till box to be used in the POS lanes. The cash controllers would need to count the bills again for settling the lanes at the end of the shift. This process is extremely time consuming and prone to human errors. The business improvement team estimates that automating the cash handling process in C stores by integrating the SusoHab, the third-party cash recyclers. SusoHab is a third-party company that manufacture cash recycler machines. Okay, so The business improvement team estimates that automating the cash handling process in C-stores by integrating the third-party app, cash recyclers with the POS systems can save valuable time of the employees and will result in labor savings of about $8 million annually. Bill McCoy, head of business improvement, have allocated the budget from 2022-23 cycle and wants to complete the integration before 2023 Thanksgiving season. Before the rollout, the management wants to do a pilot implementation in the store 531. Jack Hyder, who is a business analyst in the POS systems, is assigned to complete the requirements for this project. Jack would need to consult with Kelly Malcolm from regulatory compliance to make sure that the third-party cash recycler is compliant to the C-store security standards. Yeah, hope I was clear.
Yeah, good. Thank you, Danya. Thank you, Danya. So
very much. I mean, 1 minute. Actually, can every one of you open your video? Whoever is, I request every one of you, because there is going to be a conversation. It will be a good idea that, we open our video. I mean, whomsoever, I understand if someone is traveling and listening or something else, wherever there is a possibility, each one of you, because this is the way we are going to learn. The whole thing is we are going to interact, interact and learn. So can you open all your videos? All of you. I think I have opened my video. I think I'm visible. Every one of you. Over to you, Amarnath. Sorry for the interruption.
Yeah, thank you so much. So you have seen this case study, right? And maybe people who are in the audio, you can speak it out, or people can also use the chat window to respond if somebody is not able to unmute and all. So you have seen a case study on a Z stores, right? They are looking for a solution, and we are as a business analyst, right, been aligned. So according to here, you see many stakeholders already in your eyes in this text. Can you name who are the stakeholders here? Can somebody, maybe you can come on the video and can say the names, probably how many stakeholders you are directly able to find it out from this directly. I can say a few. I have already been there. I can see that.
There is a purpose for asking for. There is a pattern we are working with you. Please go ahead and participate. Go ahead.
Yeah. Bill McCoy. Yeah, that's the first answer. That's true. We will see the role, what he is going to play. Bill McCoy is one stakeholder.
Jack Hyder.
Yes, of course, Jack Hyder. Jack Hyder is the main guy. And next?
Yeah. Kelly.
Yeah, right. Kelly Malcolm. Very good. And the one more. I think I can see. I will take from the chat box. Yeah, cash controllers, of course. And I have missed. I think somebody is missing someone. I think we are missing the main one.
I think that's Zohab.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Zohab, the third party guy. Red store. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Really good, because what we seen in the previous, you are able to catch from this case study who is going to be the stakeholders, right? Just remember these people's name. Okay, we'll come back to the role later, because that is something which you need to know. Maybe according to you, Bill McCoy, who will he be? Somebody said Bill McCoy, right? According to you today, when you see this, who he can be?
He's the sponsor, right?
He's a sponsor.
Exactly. Sponsor, right? I will name one. We are not going to all stakeholders, but I just want to. Bill McCoy, sponsor, very good. Jack Hyder, the answer is directly there.
He's directly the business analyst.
Business analyst. I made it very easy answer. Okay, no problem. We'll look for Kelly Malcolm.
He's an implementation business
Regulatory
analyst.
compliance.
Somebody said somebody. Yeah.
Regulator.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Regulator. Okay, fine, good. So you are good. You are able to relate, at least to identify from this, because this is very key when we are doing this exercise as a case study, because it's going to be a reflection of what it is going to be learned. And when we see any documents or going through an article, we will be able to identify these stakeholders and their roles, because this is very key on identifying this. Whenever you are into a new product or in a new engagement, this will be our first step, right? Identifying stakeholders, who I need to talk, what I need to talk to them, what is their relationship into this, what will be their influence of, because this element is very important. Now, the second part, which Vijay had a discussion, right? Here, you just go through again, maybe for a minute, because we will look at the requirements, what it is there, because our purpose is to get the requirements for a case study for a problem, right? So we have already had a glimpse of what type of requirements it can come, right? So we will see the next slide with the requirements of various lists from this case study. Okay, I need you to go through this. Probably somebody can, like Divya, can anybody volunteer to read out these 9 requirements one by one? We'll make it conversational. Maybe somebody I can see.
Sure, but probably I can take a look. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Shreyas. Thank you. Maybe Bensi, Isaac, thank you for we have something to come to. Probably we'll. Yeah, Shreyas, we can go ahead. Probably with the 5 you can, and then Bensi can take the rest of the 4. Yes, thank you.
Sure. Yeah, that works. Thanks a lot. The first one, automate the manual cash handling process in 200 plus retail outlets and save approximately $8 million annually.
Okay.
The second one would be the cash controllers should be able to initiate all the operations in the cash recycler from the Z-Store POS systems. The third one, the cash controller manager should be able to track all the transactions done in the cash recycler from the Z-Store POS systems. And the fourth one, the cash controllers should be able to use the cash recyclers to create a new till loan amounts to an opened till and to settle an open till.
Yeah.
Okay. The fifth one would be in the event of a system error, cash recyclers should communicate the error codes to the users. Yeah. Probably I'll hand it over to Betsy
yeah, okay. Maybe Amar, from one by one we can take up decide and discuss what type of requirement it is then, right?
Wow, great. That would be good one. So probably we can because it will easily relate to that. Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
So
we can take the first one and go ahead, Amar. Yeah, you please proceed. Yeah.
Okay, so Shreyas have read out that the first can automate the manual cash handling process in 200 plus retail outlets and save approximately 8 million annually, right? This is a what type of requirements it will come?
Functional business requirements.
Right. Any other? Somebody said functional, somebody said business. Okay.
Basically, that covers the on a high level, that covers the scope and the expectation from this initiative also, right?
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So in the first one is, as you rightly said, right? It's a functional category and it's a business requirement, because here we are talking about a result which we are expecting. As you said, the scope, right? This is what our expectations. So it's a business requirement for that. Good. So we will move on to the next one. The cash controllers.
The cash controllers should be able to initiate all operations in the cash recycler from the Z-Store POS system. So yeah, it's talking about cash controllers and how they want to initiate all the operations. So maybe any guesses from the participants, like what it would be?
Solution requirements. Yeah, it's a functional requirement.
Any other guess? Is it okay? We will go with that. Anybody, any other opinion? Okay, Ben CSX said it's about the workflow.
Integration.
Yeah, it's a workflow, and if you rightly, it's a functional requirement because it's a start, right? It needs the enablement for that. That's a right one. Moving on, third one. The cash controller.
The cash controller manager should be able to track all the transaction done in the cash recycler from the Z-Store POS system. So it talks about tracking the transaction and what a cash controller manager will be should be doing it.
Again, it's a functional requirement.
Right. It's a functional requirement. We will move on to the next one.
Okay. The cash controller should be able to use the cash recycler to create a new till loan amounts to an open till and to settle an open till. So this is talking about different functionalities that has to be performed over there by the cash controllers. So you can take a chance like what it would be.
This is a stakeholder requirement.
Exactly. It's a stakeholder requirement.
Okay. Okay, that's
Move on.
great. Okay, fifth one is in the event of a system error, the cash recyclers should communicate the error codes to the users.
This is a non-functional requirement.
Any guess,
Okay.
others?
It is a functional requirement, but it talks about the exception handling.
So it's not a purely functional requirement, right? But of course, it is an implicit requirement which we need to, and in case of an event of an error, the system, the cashier should know, right? That's a good one. Next, we'll move on.
Yeah, a sixth one. The POS system shall check the availability of the denomination in the cash recycler before initiating a cash dispense operation.
Any guess?
Functional requirement.
Yeah, it's a functional requirement because how much amount, right? We need some limitation should be there. That's great. We'll move on to the next one.
Okay. The cash recycler system should be able to complete deposit of 500 bills within 10 seconds.
Performance requirement or non-functional requirement.
Okay, performance requirement or non-functional. Thanks, Jignesh. Anybody else? The chat. Any other? Yes. Okay, yeah, that's right. It's a non-functional requirement about as Vijay was mentioning it, right? It's a non-functional requirement. Performing a task in a specific time, right? That time limit. That's the one. Yes, move on, Vijay.
All the existing store configurations and employee details must be set up in the the existing store yeah, it's audible, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay, fine. Yeah, all the existing store configurations and employee details must be set in the cash recycler systems prior to rollouts. What requirement it could be?
It could be a business requirement.
Business requirement.
Statutory requirement.
Yeah, statutory requirement. Any other?
Is it precondition? What?
Yeah, right. Benzi said, yeah. Benzi said the requisite requirement. Okay, precondition requirement. Any other? Okay, so yes, as you all said, it's a pre-requirement, precondition. So in BABOK or in IIBA, we call that is a transition requirement. It's a temporary requirement that we need to set up before for that, right? So that's, we call it as a transitional requirement. Okay. We'll move on to the last one. I'm not sure.
The last one.
Yeah.
Yeah. The cash recyclers should be able to support the dispense and deposit operations in the event of a network outage.
So what kind of requirement it be?
Is also a performance requirement or a non-functional?
Yeah. A non-functional, I think, and it talks about the business continuity plan.
Exactly. True. Yes, Sriram. Yeah, good. Good thought. Any other? Okay, good. So that's right, because it is something which is not purely a functional, but the business have to function on, right? So we need to plan accordingly for us to enable our system to support the customer in this case. So here, this is a small glimpse of the case studies. These many requirements are there in that case study of one slider, right? We have it's a mix. We need to consider the business. We need to consider and see the system. We need to see the functional behavior, workflow, and non-functional, right? And the transition. So that's how we will be engaging with multiple requirements we will be having, and with so all these you will be learning in the BABOK, and in the sense it will be more easy for you also to identify all this, right? Thanks a lot. I hope you enjoyed. We will see the last part of this. Since you have identified the stakeholders already, right? Bellicom, Kelly, John, you had other third parties as well, right? We will see what their relationship and all in the next slide. We will see whether you have highlighted it rightly or not. Okay. Yes, Billcom, head of business improvement. So as you rightly said, somebody have already said he is going to be the sponsor for this, right? Kelly Malcolm, you said it's a manager and loss of, he is going to be a regulator. You have already highlighted it. And I have not seen something which is not there in this. I have just put some names. Can somebody say what role he is going to perform? Daniel Hupert. Can somebody say what kind of role he can perform for in this case? He is senior
Vendor.
manager. Okay, vendor.
Or a supplier.
Supplier. There is 11 stakeholders list we are showing, right? Any other more guess? We can recollect them. Okay, I will say that he is a domain subject matter expert because he owns the process, right, of the POS system. So we call he's a domain subject matter expert. Vivek Kumar.
Amar, we are running out of time, Amar.
Sorry, then we will move on. So it's just a glimpse. So whenever you see something, it will be able to relate, you identify the stakeholder and try to map to the role what they are going to perform. Okay. So you may go with him the designations or the role he performs, but always try to relate with. This is all you will be learning in the BABOK. It is been there through a technique, through a task, you'll be able to do it. Okay, no worries about it. Probably considering the timeline, probably we'll quickly move on to the next topic. On. Hope you have enjoyed. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Over to you.
Yeah. Purni, I mean, I'll take it forward. And by the way, Purni has to rush to the hospital. That is the way the things move like this in our family. See, how many of you are missing? And myself, Ashok, together we are going to take this 15 minutes. And we promise you that we'll close it within this 15 minutes, okay? And I mean, I'll make it as interactive as possible, but it will be a conversation between me and Ashok. Okay, so that I mean, you people will be listening. I can complete it because we want to give at least 5 minutes for you to Q&A. And the next 10 minutes we want to close. Ashok, are you ready?
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Yeah, Ashok, are you missing the joint family system? Are you missing the joint family system? Yes, no, maybe.
To say the truth, personally, no, because I'm living in a joint family at home. But then, yes, I do miss the joint family connect amongst the members of the BA community, because most of the times we are all meeting each other virtually and not face to face.
Fantastic. So that is what actually I wanted to start with you. This is a big joint family of IIBA family. And I recommend, there is one Malayalam movie called Home. I request you to go through this movie because it speaks about, I would have seen at least 10 to 12 times. Home is the only place where you can be as you are. You need not do any, you need not look good in front of others. You need not feel bad in front of others. End of the day, there is a great things happening. Like we will be grooming children and we'll be, taking care of the parents, taking care of all these things happens, very, very productive way things are happening. So that kind of environment we wanted to give in IIBA. But then there are two or three keywords I used when I am talking about. One is that world-class professional. Two is something that, in order to do world-class professional, and I want to reach 1 million before my death, I want to reach at least 1 million working professional. I am a very humble person. How can I reach? So my mission to the whole IIBA India is that, can I groom 1,000 mentors? This is what my mission is actually. That is the sample you saw, that my mentees becoming mentor started taking sessions. This is going to happen. So end of the day, each participant today is going to be a mentor over a period of time. It is a lifelong relationship. It's not that as long as I am living, that, I am going to get into that. For that thing, see, Sandeep has, just, in the chat box, there is a WhatsApp community. There is no cost involved and there is no membership involved. Like, in a family, is this involved? But if there is a transaction, it is all involved. Okay, this is what, and all these people, whomsoever I'm going to introduce, I'm just, put the name and run through that within next 2 minutes. But I am sure that I'm doing my injustification. But instead, they themselves today, right from Purni and followed by Girish and then Manivel and followed by Vijay and Amar. Did I miss anyone? All of them, they demonstrated their value. I hope you people like this. And of course, Ashok, myself, we all come to that place where we are grooming leaders, that is where we are doing. Correct, Ashok? So absolutely. I want you to just spell out the name of the mentors, Ashok. And Rio, can you open up? Can you just keep shifting that slides? Ashok, I introduced.
So we are happy to,
No. Go before. Sorry. I go to the, when Purni has not been introduced by Ashok, I can only introduce Ashok. After that, Ashok will do the rest of the things. Ashok, Ashok is a great leader and who stood with the IIBA Chennai chapter. He is the source for, having this IIBA India initiatives hosting by IIBA Chennai initiative. He is the person. Most of the time we both stood alone. Now we have a big team, but still our mission never, in order to accomplish the mission, now we are in a situation where we are budding. We are really budding. And Ashok, thank you for being with me in my mission to reach as many people as possible. Thanking for your availability, because I'll tell you, being a mentor, any one of you want to become a mentor, there is a guiding principle. First is availability. Second is listening. Third one is confidentiality. If you have these three things, then helping the people to take the guided decision, but not to take decision on their behalf. Fifth is, making that, communication skill. They should articulate whatever they feel like. Good, bad, they should have authentically communicate. And the final one is, they should be a situational leader. Always our circumstance challenges in different ways. But are you available and stand for your voice? And can you find your voice and stand for that? That is what makes difference. So if you are interested to become a mentor in IIBA part of this is the pre-qualification criteria in which I can groom you as a mentor. And Ashok is almost, in every, whatever I spoke about it, he was with me for that. Oti Ashok, thank you very much. And every one of them. But everyone whom the photos you are seeing, the mentor Ashok is introducing. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words as part of my introduction. And I'm sure we'll go many more miles together, backed by your strong support. Thank you very much for that. Okay, so I'll move ahead and I'll quickly introduce the entire mentor team. We have on board the mentor group, Purni Srinivasan, who's CBAP and CPOA certified. She also chairs the Office of Secretary IIBA Chennai Chapter. Vijay Lakshmi, you already met her a few minutes back. She was running through the case study with all of you. She is the VP Professional Development of Chennai Chapter. She's also CBAP certified. Next slide, please. And we have Sandeep Rajgopalan, who is from Accenture. He is VP Event Management at Chennai Chapter, CBAP certified again. All our mentors are CBAP certified. Deepthi Brahmanapalli is a new member of the Chennai Chapter family, and she is part of the professional development team. We have Girish Subramaniam connected with us from Trivandrum, and he is also a member of the team under professional development. Next slide, please. Govind Sridhar is joining us from Mumbai along with Naina Jetty. Both of them are CBAP certified, and they are part of the community development team of Mumbai chapter. Vikas Mathad is the president of Bengaluru chapter, and he will also be part of the member team. Next slide, please. We have Saujanya Gumari from Hyderabad chapter, VP Professional Development. Fatima, she's an active member of the Bengaluru chapter. I'm sure many of you have met her in the previous IIBA events. Ramakrishna is from Hyderabad chapter, another popular personality amongst us from Hyderabad chapter. Yes. Ramachandra Rao from Hyderabad chapter, member of professional development. Rakesh Sharma, Hyderabad again. And we have Gaurav Chaudhary from the Delhi NCR chapter, who would also be joining us as part of the team. Next slide, please. We have Rioto, who is also part of the host team for today's session. He would also be a mentor of the study group, which we plan to propose. Amarnath Perumal, you've already met him a few minutes back. He was running through the case study with you. He's a member of marketing and communication at Chennai chapter. And we have Aparna Nair also joining us as part of our team. Over to you, Swami sir.
Thank you very much. And actually, I wanted to take only 1 minute of the time, and because we are left out of the time. See, generally what happens, that today conversation is more about career path and career path. Inside the career path, there are career events. So we are always looking to that, the getting certified is only to get to our promotions or entering into a different roles and all this, because always we are role centric, we are not career centric. The idea itself that, unless otherwise, there is a 4 phases of career which you have to develop your skill, develop your experience. Then you become from the experienced professional to the expert, and you have your own wisdom to choose your place and stay there for life. This is what this career is all about, in my opinion. And inside that we are having, can you go to the next slide, please? Rio? Yeah, so there should be a comprehensive learning, formal, informal, and actual experiential. All the formal learning component, of course, Babok is there, and you through self-study, I'm sure you will be taking care, by spending enough time. So if I come to this study group, once again, you have been whatever you remember, recall, and you say it is not making any sense for us. All that things you are going to be a social learning, and someone is asking why WhatsApp group, why Telegram group and all. It is not for every one of you. Seriously telling, it is not every one of you, because there is a big population outside there. They want to pay some money and recover the money. They don't understand what is the return on investment for the time you are investing. They waste their time for 200 certifications and they get 10 certifications. It's all great. But if it is not the next day morning, you are not practicing your day-to-day work, it is not making any sense. So we are not going to get into that area of conversation. It is going to be, are you becoming a lifelong learner? And can you learn from your own circumstances and situations? For that, what kind of 2 cents of value we could add it? And can we get into a person, to become a world-class professional? What it takes in terms of competencies, in terms of knowledge and skill, can we give our own so that you can put your career path towards success? This is what we are trying to do. And can you go to the next slide? See the next slide, please. See, these are all other things I am going to talk I mean, okay, there are 3 levels, once you become a part of this thing, I'm going to talk about it. Go to the, I mean, I will give all the queries myself, Ashok, or any of the mentor will answer you. And I request you not to ask anything about, this is the overview. I'm going to publish this slide deck in the WhatsApp community itself. Go to the next slide. Go to the next slide, please. I don't want to get into this, I'll explain everything. Yeah, this is the area. Go to previous slide, please. Previous slide. Yeah, previous slide, please. Rio, I could not. Yeah, thank you, Priya. Rio, see, we are going to have this is what for ECBA. In case if you are level 1 and less than 2 years experience, and you go for this, and there is a payment link, Sandeep will post it. And also we post it in the WhatsApp community, but we are not forcing that, once you pay only you can become WhatsApp community, because I have seen people each one journey is totally different. Even to take a decision to join a study group itself, I mean, people take years, but they never left the relationship with me. Or, I mean, I think Nandini was talking, Amrita was talking. So many people are there. They just clarify and they park for some time, they come back. So that, how do I motivate you when you are ready? So if you're ready, please pay this 1,999 if you are ECBA. If you are CCBA thing, choose that CCBA part of it and pay for 4,999. And if you are CBAP certified and 999, these costs are only we are taking it to actualize the cost of that, LMS, whatever we are giving some facility for you to guided learning. This is what we are doing it. And then we do have other offers. I mean, it is not in the, discount offer. I'm not talking about a discount. And of course, if you in your organization, a group of people are going to join, like more than 5 people are going to join. There may be something like, 10% of the total amount we will minimize and all. We will discuss everything in the conversation itself. And then over to you people. Any questions, anything, not related to any questions towards the study group or join the community first, the WhatsApp community, know your current state. First, we understand your learning style and current level of business analysis knowledge and all. Then we will push you to read, listen, and practice. And then we put up the practice mock test and clearly the exam. Then you will clear the exam. After clearing it, towards the practice, you volunteer and keep on learning more. That is what the way in which we are going to create your path to your success. And I stop here. And any questions, anything, I feel free to connect with me. And any or Ashok or any of the mentors who are there already, they are all part of the study. The community what I have created. Join that community and keep asking the questions. Thank you for
Swami.
the
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
I
Ashok.
think the session has, as a participant too, fellow participant with all of you, I think the session has been very interesting, and to know so many mentors from IIBA, it has been, I think, an amazing experience for all of us. And just as CBAP helped all of us, both in our personal and professional life, so many people have changed our careers after completing CBAP certification. We've grown up the career ladder. We've changed as individuals and professionals into, a person who takes up with much more ownership all our tasks and performs much better, delivers much better output. And I hope such a journey happens for each and every one of you who has joined in. I request that all of you take this opportunity and, join the Babok study group and complete your CBAP certification with a good enthusiasm and motivation going forward, and not waste any more time. So thank you all for joining in. It's been an amazing session and lovely connecting with all of you. Thank you so much.